Before you make a decision, you need to calm down. You need to get out of your emotion.
We out here in these streets.
I want to talk about something that's very important when it comes to this. This shows a little political alignment, religious alignment with even just in groups, friendships, relationships. But I want to bring something to light, and I'm gonna bring up some notes here. Watch this. Hold on. So we align ourselves with political parties, like some people align themselves with the Progressive Party or the Tea Party, or some people are libertarians, some people are conservatives, some people are liberals, some people go with Republicans, some people go with Democrat, some people are Christian, some people are Muslim. I mean, you guys know this. I ain't gonna be going over through this, but we tend to align ourselves with things in the Black community, and this is part of why I believe that we're divided, because we align ourselves with people and things that we like, that make us feel good in the moment. And I really, really think this is a problem, right? Because one of the things I always remember my Grandma Wiley would say when I would get mad and angry at Rhonda or Andre. She'd say, and not even just my Grandma Wiley, my Grandma Webb and my mom and dad, they always say, before you make a decision, you need to calm down. You need to get out of your emotions. You need to get back to logic, get back to thinking. You need to think about what you're going to do and say. I was always told this anytime I was mad, even when I found a girl that I like. Are you sure you love her, Chris? I think you need to. I think you're in a euphoria moment. You're in your emotions. I think you need to calm down. You need to think about this, right? Because there was a girl I was with that I probably shouldn't have been with, and they kept warning me. Are you sure? And the girl ended up being hell. And this is when I was 12th grade on out of 12th grade, my first couple years of life outside of school. But they will always tell me to calm down. And what I see in today's society now is we're making decisions based on our feelings all the time. I feel like this person is for me. I feel like Trump is racist. Well, what he did there, I feel like it's racist. And there's other people who don't agree. Then I feel like Hillary's before us. And then there's some people who don't agree that Hillary is for them. You know, everybody thinks that Hillary's the racist or she's the fake, or people feel like, I feel like Obama was the best president. We actually got results for that. That's not necessarily true. He was the most swagged president, my brother. But no, let me stop. But I ain't gonna say he was the best. You know, I kind of think Clinton got that one. Actually, I think Daddy Bush was better than him too. But anyway, that's a whole nother section. Y'all can agree. Y'all gonna be trying to get on me about that. But we always feel we make our allegiances based on feeling versus based on actual benefit, actual alignment, actual thought patterns. And it's funny because recently I was working on this set. Working on this commercial set, and John Cena was one of the actors. The wrestler John Cena was one of the actors in the commercial or whatever. And everybody was talking about, man, he has such a bad attitude. He's just horrible. He's so horrible. This, right? And I'm sitting there like, Now, I've seen him on reality shows and stuff like that. The way he was acting to me is exactly the same way he acts all the time versus when he's actually on the platform at WWE wrestling, right? So I mean, obviously he's entertaining you there, but his demeanor has, to me, even on there, is kind of the same, And I think because people thought he was so mean, people kind of didn't really like him. I actually had no problem with him because I know people think I'm mean too, But I kind of got him. Like, he's just a serious guy. He thinks, he's a thinker. This. But when you get past that, you'll find out that you have a lot in common with the person, right? But if I was one of those people to go off on my feelings about the guy, I probably would have never, even had a conversation with him or even tried to engage with them, because there was other actors there that were more personable, So and get back on topic, but I said that to say we align ourselves with the things that we feel, because our parents or tradition. We love Black folk. We love tradition, and that's not a bad value when the traditions are actually good and helpful. It's bad when the traditions are not helpful. And I think that's just kind of weird when people are sitting here like, oh, we following these traditions, and we find out that they're not even real traditions and we still follow them. That's kind of weird. We do that a lot in Christianity. There's some things that have been said wrong, taught wrong, and we still follow those traditions. And I'm sure that happens in Islam and other religions too, because we're fallible, we're people. But we have to step back and get out of our emotions. Here's some things that I want to show you. Here's some Black values that I found that are very interesting, right? One of the Black values, we believe in family. And here's the oxymoron, because I was talking about the Black divide. Although we're divided, we may not trust each other, we may not care to work with one another. The funny thing is, if something bad happens to one of us, all of us is getting up. All of us is like, yo, like we finna go mob deep. I just saw a video where this guy, this white guy tried to snatch this girl off a train from her dad. And the funny thing was, the man got off the train. He didn't succeed, but he got beat up 3 times over that situation from people who don't even know the girl. But because she was a Black girl, he tried to snatch her off, literally tried to snatch her off the train. Hey, this was happening in New York. New York, the Black folk in New York, we stood up, feel me? But anyways, and I like that. I like that. We're about family. We protect our, like, if somebody would have like, yo mama, we would have, like, when somebody said yo mama back in the day, what do you say? Like, we go completely ham on your mama, right? Another one of our values, we believe in justice. We do not like injustice. As many of Black people have been unfairly shot by police, unfairly put in jail, and don't go off on the whole shot by police thing. I don't believe that Black people are killed more by police than any other culture. I don't believe that, but I do believe there are moments, and I don't even believe it's based on race. I just believe that there are a lot of cops who are bad seeds, and not only that, they just little punks who got a badge, and now they want to flex their muscles because they were unpopular in school and they didn't have all the girls and they were bullied. So now they got a badge, and now they're gonna be bullying. So I believe it's excessive force. There's cops that use excessive force and want to flex their little muscles, and feel like they the bad man, the big man on campus. So they end up killing people because Black folks, we got pride. We like, yo, you're not finna talk to us like that, huh? So we believe in justice. We believe in community. Like, the funny thing is, we say some of the most racist stuff in the world, and I don't care. People say Black folks can't be racist because we don't have economic power in this. Like, stop it. That sounds stupid. That ain't even the definition of racism. Basically racism is just hating somebody based on their race. Prejudice is hating somebody based on their race. So it's the same. It's 2 words that mean the same thing. Being racist is being, in a sense, being proud of your race and feeling that your race is superior to another. You don't have to have economic anything to feel like the word feel like you're superior, or you believe that your race is superior. we say some of the racist things, but yet we're the most inclusive when it comes to people. We're always working with other people. The funny thing is we rather work with people outside of our culture than we are in our culture, but yet we still have, in a sense, a divided but we close-knit in community, which is like an oxymoron. We're divided in some ways, but we're close in other ways. Like I said, like we'll protect one another, but we won't buy from one another. We won't do business with one another, right? We are, obviously we're compassionate. We believe we live with our hearts. We know what it's like to struggle. We believe, what does it say? Everybody wants to be a business owner in the Black community. We want our own money. We want to make our own money. We believe in the value of free enterprise and being able to make as much money as you want with the things that you're good at, right? We believe in this stuff, right? So those are some Black values that we live on, right? We believe in fairness and all this stuff, right? And here's the funny thing is, and I'm about to go political with this, we align ourselves with political parties that don't believe in that very thing. We align ourselves with groups of people who don't believe in that very thing. Like I'll give you an instance. Any party that is willing to exclude rights from another group of people to give it to another group of people, that is not something that's not a value that Black folks have. But yet, sorry, Democrats, we are loyal liberals to these parties that do that very thing. We didn't like the fact that we were segregated against, we weren't, and actually, not just we didn't like, that was unfair and unfortunate that we didn't want that to happen to us, and we fought for not to happen to Black folks, only for it to now happen to people all over again. We got gender discrimination. We got not only that, religious discrimination. We got all this stuff. We're giving rights to certain people and taking the rights of other people away. We're giving rights for somebody to say something, but taking rights for somebody else to say. Like even with the N-word. If people don't have the right to say the N-word, then nobody should have the right to say it. Period. That's just what I believe. You can get mad at me all you want to and say that we have the right to use it. I think that's dumb, you know? Yes, we took the word and made it a cool thing. But if we're gonna make it a cool thing, don't you think everybody else is gonna want to say it? You know. But my thing is, I don't really like saying the N-word. I do say it sometimes; it slips out my mouth, but not as much. I used to say it a lot back in the day, but I don't really say it as much today unless I'm mad or whatever. Excuse me. And I'm using it in a negative connotation anyway. I'm calling you ignorant or stupid when I'm saying it. But I don't use it as a term of endearment. Like, hey, that's my boy. Or that's my, you know. Because I feel if I'm going to use that, I can't get mad when somebody else uses it for the same reason or some other race uses it for the same reason. And I do get mad when they say it because it feels weird. So I don't use it in that thing. Sorry, excuse me. I've got hiccups right now. But, we have a party that believes in taking the rights of others. We have a party that believes in pacifying people, like giving people something and not making it work, or always taking from another and give to another. The whole, what we say, the Robin Hood syndrome, but it's not really the Robin Hood syndrome, taking from the rich and giving the poor. And to me, to take, period, I don't care what. In this day and age, we're not in Robin Hood age. Robin Hood had a different situation because they were taken from the powers who were taking it from the poor. See, the rich, the powerful, the government was taking it from the poor. Technically, Robin Hood was taking it back and giving it back to the people because they couldn't eat. In our day and age, rich ain't taking from us. We giving the rich our money. Because we believe in what? Free enterprise. We believe in free enterprise. All of us. If I created the iPhone, you think I want somebody taking my money and giving it to somebody else? No, that's my money. I should be able to do what I want to do with it, right? All of us feel that same way. Let me show you what party actually agrees with a lot of these things. Here's conservatism, and I'm not sitting here advocating for conservatism. This is just an example, guys. So I know y'all in the comments going through. Don't go through. This is an example of a party system that actually aligns more with the values of black people. Let me show you. Conservatism, which is predominantly held by the Republican Party, but also there's another ideology that actually goes well with black values, and that's libertarianism, not liberalism. Liberalism and libertarian is two different things, right? Libertarian believes in less government. Liberalism wants all government and the government to tell everybody what to do, right? Big government. But here's conservatism. They believe in responsibility. Person who is responsible for self and self-reliant, right? I think we all want to be self-reliant. That's what Dr. Martin Luther King fought for. That's what Malcolm X fought for. That's what Farrakhan is fighting for in some situations. That's what all of our black leaders pretty much are fighting for, is self-reliance, right? Give us the opportunity to be self-reliant, to have our own resources, and be able to give back to the greater whole of the United States. Free enterprise, or pro-enterprise, living within our means, support for a responsible free market economy. That's something I know that a lot of black people talk about. They want to live in, most black folks live into their means. They look at there's people that I know from down south, some of my old uncles and the old people that I'm around, who believe in living. They don't even use banks, and they're fine with their little mechanic job or this job or that job, and they live in life. And they live within their means. They don't get excess. They don't do all that extra stuff, right? But this was a principle that black folks taught themselves. We're pro-freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of liberty, freedom of speech. We're always talking about how we don't want nobody. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to say. I'm my own person. I'm my independent. I'm an independent woman. I'm an independent woman. I'm sorry. But we all talk about it. Even men talk about we're independent. We're our own man. I'm my own man. You know, I'm my own this, right? But to be your own man, to be independent, you have to have freedom of choice. You have to have freedom of liberty, freedom of speech. You have to be able to say what you need to say in order to get your points across. You need to be able to make the choices for yourself without somebody making it for you. And you need to be able to be free to do those things, right? We want businesses. That's why some of us go be entertainers. That's why some of us got hair shops. And what if somebody tell me you can't have a hair shop? No, I'm sorry, you can't have that. We won't be able to let you do that today. You know, we would hate that. We're obviously, here's the one I talked about. We're pro-community, diversity, tolerance, inclusive, openness, and internationalism or whatever. Being in an international community or a national community, we're about everybody, right? Pro-opportunity, equal opportunity for all aspirations, empowerment, education, social mobility. Like, you know what's crazy about that? We're always talking about equal opportunity. That's what Martin Luther King fought for, equal opportunity. He did not fight for integration, guys. That's not what he fought for. He fought for equal opportunity. That's why he made the statement that he will hope that we will be judged by the content of our character and not by the color of our skin and all this good stuff like that. He wanted us to be able to wanted us to be able to achieve based on what we do, our self-worth. I talked about self-worth, our self-value in another show, not because we're black. And that goes both ways, not being able to get something because we're black and also getting something all because we're black. Like, they have that lawsuit at I forgot what school, I think it was Harvard, about affirmative action and how black folks were able to get into school for lesser scores than the Asian people. Actually, the Asians had to get higher than even white people even to get into the school, and that was a form of racism, and now they're being sued over it. So this is why most universities are actually getting rid of affirmative action. And honestly, that did not do it. That's another thing that didn't do us justice. Was affirmative action, putting people who weren't qualified into schools that teach at this level when we're learning at this level. We should have just taught in our schools at a level where we could, but that's a whole nother topic. Let me get through this quick. Compassion, being compassionate, prioritizing the vulnerability, social justice, civic mind. Conservatism is about social justice. Being social justice, they just have a different way of going about it than the Democrats, right? Pro-democracy, meaning being fair with the votes, being limiting our government, giving the power to the people. That's what democracy is about. Patriotism, pro-family, sovereignty, being able to be your own person, right? And principle, fairness, integrity, pragmaticism. I can't say that word. I'm sorry. Respect. These are things that Black folks, we all are. What's the word I'm looking for? We all have in our community. These are the values that we have. And forward looking, we always looking to the next thing, trying to accomplish things and doing things. We're about that. That's conservative values. Those go with Black folks. So then again, why are we so aligned with liberalism? We're aligned with liberalism because we're in our feelings, because they're doing things, they're giving us stuff. They're pacifying us. It's the same thing that they did in slavery. So the people will not only beat them and discipline them when they ran, but also give them incentives to stay and then tell on one another when the other person leave. Like, hey, if you be a good slave and tell me who ran, I'm gonna let you be in the big house. Same concept. That's why I wanted to talk about the values, and these are the things that I believe that we need to figure out within our Black community to bridge this divide that we have, which is to figure out what actually are the principles. We have principles, but they're not. We have values and principles, but they're not widely and they're not uniform. You can't go one place and find this is what Black people's about. We see it, but it's not written in stone. So, hey, we'll be back after this. Bet you're wondering how I changed so fast. That's because this video is at the end of every video, huh? But hey, just make sure you like, subscribe, push the notification bell. YouTube is changing their algorithm. So sometimes if you don't notify and put me in your list, you might not get my updates. But if not, just keep checking in. If you're on Facebook, please like and subscribe and share. If you are listening to this on Spotify, please make sure you follow me on Spotify if you have a Spotify account. Also follow me on iTunes if you have an iTunes music account. Make sure you guys are just spreading news, spreading the word, comment, talk. I just want to hear from y'all. And not only that, make sure you listen to the other videos that are posted in this video, and listen to the podcast. I want to thank you guys. Hey, make sure you follow me. I forgot about that too. Follow me on all my social medias. That is at Chris Conscious. That's at the Wiley Life. And then the only other one is at Speak Music Radio. All right. Yo.